And if we ask the stars what they mean, what would they say back to us? Welcome! You want to go on a card journey today? Give me some of your time, and I'll give you some of your story. Well, let's see what the cards say. Hey there, Gemini. Welcome to Koi Place Tarot. My name is Koi, and I'm going to be your tarot card reader for today. As a set of quick announcements, please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification button. That way, when uploads are made, you can see what the stars are trying to say to you. Also, if you're interested, individual reads are back up and open, so either message or email me directly. Link is on main, and we'll set that up, okay? What we're looking at in this round of reads, Gemini, this is going to be your one-to-one this month. As you've seen with the spring reawakening, again, life is crazy, and I'm trying to get everything back on track. So too, as I put out a new style of reading, why not switch up the order as well? So this is why I'm moving the one-on-ones towards the beginning of the month rather than the end. That way we could kind of see different priorities. I also have been asked to do the one-on-ones more towards the beginning as well. So one-to-ones, for those who have not seen it yet, this is a style of reading that I examine what's going on between person A and person B. Every dynamic, here and now. Caveat to this style of reading, two main things. The first, I hesitate to call them love readings. They may not always be lovely, right? We talk about everything at this table, not just the good, but also potentially the bad or the difficult experiences. The second is that it ain't always gotta be about love. I promise. It can be about family, friends, co-workers, somebody you just met, right? What is the most prevalent relationship for you to understand of the here and now? So as a preamble to the read, Gemini, take what resonates, leave what doesn't, but don't always be so willing to reverse. At times, if it gets difficult, understand that I, as your tarot card reader, I'm not here to misguide you or mislead you. Trust me, I got 12 signs to talk with, and I don't have time to lie to any one of them. Otherwise, I wouldn't be doing all the work that I do for it, right? We just lay our cards out on the table, and good or bad, come rain or sunshine, we talk about it. Because at the end of the day, tarot is a conversation, just an energetic one, right? So follow along with me in your read today, Gemini, your one-to-one read, and yeah, let's see what the cards say. You'll be over here, your person's gonna be over here. Show us the cards that we need to see, please, for Gemini in this read. Show the cards that we need to see, please, for Gemini in this read today. On your side, King of Cups, okay. Emotional maturity, also on their end. Three of Swords, emotional heartbreak. I don't know what's going on between you two, but right now, yeah, you're having the soft acceptance, like, take it or leave it. But between you and this person, Gemini, I think, I don't want to say quote unquote we reached our breaking point, because I think that's way too simplified. Sorry, this is like kind of digging into my wrist right now. There we go. I think it's way oversimplified to say, yeah, I could take it or leave it at this point. It's rather the point that when that King of Cups acknowledging their Three of Swords over there, their heartbreak, their sudden pain, is that, yeah, is this a nice situation, the things that we're saying to each other right now, or, X number of things are going down the line? Absolutely not. But I also understand how we got here, right? Let us not play dumb in each other's faces. That King of Cups is being very stern about, yeah, do I want to get better between us? Absolutely. And simultaneously, here's what us is right now. It ain't the prettiest thing. Okay, I can acknowledge that. On their end, I'm trying to understand why that Three of Swords, because it's almost wallowing in this sense compared to your King of Cups. So that's probably going to be described more. Now that we have two parties on the board, let's look at fronts and backs. Fronts and backs being what's being left on the outside, what's also being left to the wayside or in the unspoken, and what's being directly communicated, the closest card to each other, what's being directly said, shown, or experienced between two parties. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. Between Gemini and their person, what's going on here? What's going on between Gemini and their person in the read today? Nine of Cups. Okay, my own fulfillment. What does that mean? That's not being directly spoken, so what is being communicated? The world. Oh, yeah. On their end, you pulled the highest of all the highest cards. The Sun. What does happiness mean? Okay. And interesting, because I thought that this card got reshuffled, so I'm going to put it in the position that I thought it was before we reshuffled it. The Two of Swords in the reverse. Yeah. Two people are reaching their breaking point, but in completely different ends. Whereas normally these experiences to you, Gemini, are coming, past experiences like this have oftentimes ended in like a violent confrontational clash, or directly, it wasn't the prettiest things being said. Here, this is almost like a quiet whisper, right? But it is very stern. You're either going to want life with me or without me. But for me, I'm going to want life with myself 100% of the time, right? So that's probably why the King of Cups was looking over here and being like, what are you talking about, right? You want to be happy. And your conclusion here is, listen, I'm going to find that with or without you. And I know it's not the nicest thing to say, Gemini, but that is where we are right now. It is not pretty. But for what I am seeing in that world, you are putting yourself first. And I do commend you for this, because, again, there was a very stern King of Cups up there saying, I want to give so much of me to this. And simultaneously, if we're not on the same page, now I just got to call a spade a spade. On their end, they want to, quote unquote, be happy, but the truths that they're expressing to you, not only do they not like between you two about how the dynamic's happening right now, also it's something that they may not have been truthful with themselves about for a while, right? And so Sun, or what happiness looks like for them, the reason I have an energetic conflict with this, Gemini, is that they're communicating the Sun, but they're still in the status of the Three of Swords. Drink my tea real quick. Tastes so good. To communicate the fact that you want the Sun, the happiness, all the good feelings between you and I, but it's coming from a Three of Swords, means that I don't think you've even dove into the depths of your dissatisfaction of where you stand, right? So I'm looking at somebody who, let me stand proverbially in your place for a second, Gemini. You're looking at a person who says that they want happiness and hasn't even really decided what they want for themselves, right? Is it a pretty conclusion? No. And I think this person is actually starting to come to that realization of like, yeah, I'm saying this, but if I'm saying this and I want this with them, what have I not dealt with in myself? Your rebuttal is, okay, if then, so what? Which is, oh boy, it was like throwing a rock at a wall. We're going to shut this down immediately. We're not going to play these games. Absolutely not. Right? So in that sense, yeah, you cannot say that you want happiness with me and still say that I bring you heartbreak. That's not how this works. You need to work on whatever is going on within yourself that you're not saying out loud right now, so that you can find what that means for you. Because you externalizing all that onto me, no. Instead, I heard you, but it doesn't sound like you want that with me, so I'm going to give you a choice. You either decide that you want that with me and you work on this stuff, or I decide what I want for me and work on me without you. Cool. Okay, so I understand where you're coming from with this. Again, do I think that this person is trying to find what they're looking for? Absolutely. Have they really got to the heart of the matter? They come so close and then miss it by a mile. And this has been a repeated and more frequent topic between you two that's been coming up very recently. Makes sense. Positions. Show individual positions for Gemini and the person in this read. What is held individually for both parties? on your end. Eight of Pentacles, good. If nothing else, I'm making the right choice for me. Does it have to be pretty? No. But does it have to be? Yes. And I like that for you, Gemini. On their end, Temperance, the card Sagittarius. Well, I mean, it is what it is in that regard. On their end, yeah, they're going to find their answer, right? I think you come to the conclusion that, hey, emotionally, if I can take it or leave it, then maybe I need to entertain more leaving it right now, right? Is it the prettiest thing to say, Gemini? No, but this person needs to work on finding themselves. Before they project all these visions of happiness and everything onto you and what you can do for them, they need to sit with themselves for a little while right now. While you focus on whatever you want to do, your own self-fulfillment, your own happiness, whatever new journeys you want to embark on, with or without them, because, hey, that's just where you stand right now. This person has to find themselves. And the thing that I don't want to have happen is that, okay, let's say hypothetically you two make a commitment to working it out again, but they haven't dealt with that. All they're going to do is bring that into the new commitment. Does that make sense? So underneath it all, Star, the card of Aquarius. The hope here, and if I remember correctly, you could check out Aquarius's read if you are partnering with an Aquarius, because they had a very similar vibe going on in their one-to-one. But the star here being, hey, here's the hope, but also here's the reality. Here's what we want to aim for. You say you want this, I say I want this. Cool. However, there's steps that we have to take to actually get there. It's not enough to just hope. It is not enough to just hope here. This person has to work on them. You have to find happiness for you. That's where we are right now. Okay? Now that we have individual parties both looking at each other one-to-one, now let's look at what's happening down the middle in between. Show us the cards that we need to see, please. Between Gemini and their person in this read. What are the cards that we need to see, please, between Gemini and their person in this read today? Because you're not budging on this, and I like that for you. That doesn't make you, a hard ass. It just means, if I respect you and respect myself, then this is something that you gotta do alone, right? I gotta find what's right for me, and if the conclusion that we come to is that we're not right for each other, then guess what? I can still be right for me, even if you aren't. Okay, down the middle, the Magician, the power of manifestation. We'll see where it goes. Right? Five of Wands, there's an energy of conflict being had between both parties right now. And no matter what, flashy imagery or dreams that are being, told or disseminated between you two, Gemini, you're saying that, yeah, but we need to deal with the problem here and now. Judgment, did we learn our lesson and did we do it properly? Four of Swords, okay, relax in your decision. We made the right one. And Three of Cups. I'm worried because especially there's no reunion to be had here. So let me just be very blunt about this. Gemini, underneath it all, Ace of Pentacles, a new opportunity awaits. That may not necessarily be with each other. And I do want to clarify that. The reason being is because that Three of Cups showing up in your bridge between the two. How do I put this? Yeah, if it was on either individual sides, I would say, hey, maybe we're working on, doing things again, et cetera, trying to see each other, basically giving each other a redo, right? And that was a vibe when the Three of Cups came up in Libra's read, for example, that is what that meant there wholly and solely. Here, Three of Cups, because it's being shared between you two, it sounds like there's a third party influence in your relationship between both of these people, you and them, Gemini, where it's like, okay, so what do you want? And if you're not getting a straight answer out of them, then it makes sense why you're coming to this conclusion over here. Yeah, that's pretty much, the long and short of it is that what's going on between you two. I don't know if we're experimenting with the idea of an open relationship or something like that, or somebody has stepped out of the commitment or what have you. Whatever got both of you here, that is what needs to be tackled first in order to get y'all out of this. Very simple. That Three of Cups is being shared in between. It's like, okay, we're here now because of our choices of going outside of our relationship. And I acknowledge this. However, why are you acting like this? And I think that it's a discussion more of honesty of where we stand, Gemini, rather than just saying, oh, well, it's wrong for, if you're if you're a couple who practices non-monogamy or something like that, it's just wrong that you weren't there for me, et cetera, et cetera. That's very minimalizing and very basic. That's not necessarily what's going on here. What's going on here is that this person is not processing any of their choices in regards to whatever this third party influence is here. Because of this, they have their own soul searching to do. And you come to the conclusion that, yeah, I'm not going to entertain this BS right now. I'm going to focus on me. Good luck focusing on you, right? That's not hateful. That's not abandonment. That's just the reality of where you stand. And I don't think it's necessarily hateful to say, I can't interrupt that journey for you. You need to do that work for you, because what you're doing is you're taking all your unmanaged things and projecting them onto me. I don't know how we got here. Okay, that makes sense. So the lesson here being, hey, if the Three of Cups is what's shared in between, then we both acknowledge, hey, this is what happened. Now what? If we do not acknowledge this Five of Wands, then the question of judgment becomes, why are we even working on this with each other? Okay. Resolution, real cards of resolution in this read for Gemini. What is held in the space of resolution for Gemini in their read today? As we do that, define the major arcana from across the table. We'll look at their world first. What about a cycle's closing and a journey's opening? Nine of Swords. Good, good, good. On your end, no, I'm putting my foot down. We basically, you played in my face long enough and let me make my own decision. Here and now, we're not going to do this pity party. We are not. I refuse to tolerate it. We know what happened. We tried to work on it, and yet we're none the better for it. The question isn't if, the question is why. And excuse the tenseness in my voice, Gemini. I can see the anger of why you are where you are right now. Trust me, I'm feeling it. But you're making the active, intentional move to say, hey, it is where it is. And now I gotta decide how I feel for and by me. To their son, Ace of Cups. Love's newness or renewal. Here's the thing. If the Three of Cups was not shared between you two, Gemini, then I might say, you know what, they want a redo with you. That Ace of Cups could go in any direction right now, not just towards you. They haven't, because they have not processed whatever this Two of Swords in the verse and that Three of Swords is. Why their heartbreak? How did we get here? What is the conflict going on? Yeah, the Ace of Cups become, what do you really want? There are strings attached to it. To the Temperance, I can heal the broken heart. The Three of Swords comes out again. Yeah, but how do you do that? And I think that's where the frustration is coming in, even as your reader today, Gemini, on their end of like, yeah, you're sad, but you're saying you're just going to get over it rather than acknowledging where we stand as a couple, as partners, et cetera, et cetera. You're trying to skip ahead instead of doing the hard work of that math formula. And I don't like that. Okay. To the Magician, Empress. that we can do the best and most becoming versions of ourselves. Although we show love, we also show effort. And that's the biggest thing about that. To judgment, Ace of Wands. Can we do right by what our soul, our spirit is telling us? Because the right thing may not be the nicest thing to say either. Now, you've accepted that. I don't think they have. In resolution, the Sun. Okay, here, what is happening, what is right on both ends may not necessarily even be with each other. And good on you, Gemini. You made that call. You knew what you saw, and we called spade a spade. I like that for you. The Hangman. We will see how this plays out. But regardless, be there with intention, not by coincidence. The Hangman is always intentional. That way, if you want to learn more about the 78 cards, go to the Learn With Me series and look for the Hangman. It explains in depth more there. But the Hangman here being, no, we're going to observe if you really get down to the heart of the matter. But also, I'm going to observe who I can be beyond all this BS that's happening between us right now. Underneath it all, Five of Swords, the notion of self-sabotage. Is a new opportunity between us, the hope for that, the right thing, or the new opportunity somewhere else, the right thing? These are the questions that are on the table between you and them right now, Gemini. What am I seeing in your read? Ooh. Many couples fall apart at the seams, but in this case, it's because this person really has not dealt with what's going on with them emotionally, internally, etc., but is insisting, let's just play the parts of being happy. And on your end, we are putting a stern stop to that and saying, no, we're not going to skip over it. I'm not going to ignore it. I'm not going to just play nice. We need to talk about this. Down the middle, hey, this is what we become, but, and I'm going to insist just purely because of where that card is positioned, Gemini, this has to do with outside party influences. Maybe other intimate partners or things like that got involved in your relationship. We're acknowledging where that is. And I'm not necessarily saying one person cheated, but what I am seeing is that it could be, hey, we both try to be in an open relationship, but weren't really honest about what we felt about that. A list of things to go on and on. But that is at least what I'm seeing very clearly. And so down the middle, hey, if that's what's got us here, then you need to question why we are here. I know where I stand. I don't get the feeling that you know where you stand. And that's where you are, Gemini. Good on you. You're making the right decisions for yourself. But above all, you're putting yourself first now. And that's the best thing you can do here. Let them figure that out. You figure you out. And that's where we are. That's all I got in your read today, Gemini. I hope this conversation helped. And yeah, if a person is constantly projecting their dreams but not dealing, with their own inner space, then those are just lofty ideas. And I think that you're just done with the BS and saying, hey, if this is where you stand, then here's where I stand. I'm choosing me, regardless of what that looks like. I'll see you around, okay? Take care.